correct me if I'm wrong, and I don't want to step on toes saying this. Hey fam, Sarah here. Welcome back to the Zebra Tribe fam. For the record, I'm not filming this with my camera, so I hope y'all are okay with that. It's been a moment since I did a sit down video, and honestly, with recent trends and just certain discussion topics that have been popping up left, right, and center, I felt the need. I kind of felt compelled to create this video on this subject matter. So honestly, the subject matter is really kind of like on interracial couples, recent trends, and marriage in the spotlight, marriages on YouTube. And I wanted to dabble in this as a discussion piece because I feel like it's really important. And being an interracial couple myself, being in an interracial relationship and sharing that online, I felt compelled to kind of touch base on this because I've seen things and I've observed things and I've experienced things for my own self, and I felt like, why not talk about it and why not share? And I'd love to know if those of you guys who are viewers have seen or experienced any of what I'm talking about, or those of you that are also like interracial families outside, that make videos. I would love to hear if you have experienced any of what I'm talking about. I had to have a quick drink. I'm up on here looking kind of semi-natural. Brows not done, like, that kind of thing. But like I said, I don't mind coming on here looking like me. I also want to put out a quick disclaimer, as like last time. If I mention any names in this video, don't come for me, because quite frankly, I wanted to kind of do this video live because I thought it would be a great conversation piece, and I love communicating with you guys in the comment section on my lives. But then I thought long and hard about it, and I kind of felt like it was going to spark conflict. I felt like it would spark some kind of conflict because at some point or another, I feel like with what I'm saying, even though it applies to myself and all the other interracial couples out there, at some point or another, Jamie and Nikki's name is gonna pop up, and then I'm gonna have to feel compelled to answer or talk about it or whatever, and then people are gonna come up on the video and say something stupid, and just feel the need to be all, I don't know, you know what they do. Maybe I will do it in the future. I don't know. It all depends on just the engagement on this video and what you guys think. And if you guys leave some comments and whatever down there, I will let me know. Enough talking. I just want to jump into the whole thing on interracial relationships and the couples on YouTube. So I don't know. When I first started YouTube, there was like a huge trend with, interracial couples popping up left, right, and center. And some people are for it and some people are against it. And it always makes for, I don't know, it just makes things interesting. And then again, one of the things that I've noticed is that people do show mad love, and correct me if I'm wrong, and I don't want to step on toes saying this, but people do show mad love towards couples who they consider like the attractive. If you don't do yourself up and you're not wearing this and that, it's like you're oh, look at her, you're not at this. Because I've seen this in recent channels as well, like a interracial couple that I follow, Naka and Dom, and she got a lot of flack for being her natural self. She's so beautiful, and yet people are on there like, oh, you don't do this because she doesn't necessarily sleek her hair up super tight, or she doesn't do her edges like I don't, and she doesn't wear a wig, or all of the above. Like, people will come on there and have something to say. They look at him and they think he's all together, and then they look at her and they think, oh wow, like she, you need to do this and you need to do that. And obviously this is not her whole audience. This is just a few people who always just come up and nitpick at stuff. Because we all know that attraction or attractiveness sells. And that's one of those things, like if you're considered attractive, if you're viewed as attractive by the standards of the world, of what the greater majority views as attractive, then it can take you places because people are more inclined to click and like and subscribe and watch you all the way through, because they're just like, ooh, that couple is hot. Like, that couple is cute. They look good. Like, it's definitely harder just going on substance. I'm trying so hard to word this. This is why I debated if I should even have this discussion, because I definitely want to share on my platform, and I want to share realness. Like I've always said, as much as I love to just show the mom life stuff and the ins and outs of stuff. I do want to talk and touch base on like the real stuff too. And this is what my observations on YouTube, my experience. I've had people come on and say things about my husband or say things about me, and just me choosing to be in an interracial relationship. I don't love myself, and I don't love who my culture, my race, and there's a lot of hate that goes on in the background that I don't ever talk about. Overall, I have to say there's a lot more there's a lot more positivity than there is negative. But there are things that are being said. And so, yeah, people have said stuff even about my husband and why I may have chosen a man like that and yada yada. Like, people always find something to say, which is sad. So that's one of the things I wanted to talk about, just the different level of treatment between different couples. I know that's just my experience, that's my observations of just, I feel like how couples get rated on YouTube or get loved on YouTube. Just being an ordinary, simple family who's not, I don't know, it just seems so much harder. And this is not a pity party. I don't care. I'm not having a pity party. I'm just sharing facts. I'm sharing, or I shouldn't say facts because people are going to come for me for that. I'm just sharing, what I'm saying. And it's so sad because I can't share what I'm saying without throwing shade. This video is not intended to throw shade. Like, guys, if you feel like there's any form of shade coming from this video, you really don't know me. Watch the rest of my videos and then you'll know who I am. I'm not that person. Like, if I have something to say, I will say it. I don't need to beat around the bush to say things to shade someone. That's just not me. I don't need to shade anyone. I feel like we all have our own things. We all have our own things that we bring to the table. So there's not any shade needed. Yeah. So moving on to the next thing that I wanted to talk about, which as of recent, I've been seeing outside of what's happened in Jamie's and Nikki's situation. I've seen a few other YouTubers and some interracial families break up over the past years. And I guess, like, if they're not super big, no one notices, right? But I've seen it, and I refer to it as a trend. I'm not saying it's being set as a trend, but I'm saying, like, in the YouTube world, things happen. People come and go. Relationships come and go. So being on YouTube, you do get to see relationships thrive and blossom. Even ones that have been on here for years, you get to see them not work out. And it's technically like a trend on YouTube just because it does happen. Just like the BBL trend. Like, not saying this is one that people are running out to ruin their relationships, but it does happen, and when it happens, it's like, you see enough of them on here. Now, with the whole marriage in the spotlight on YouTube, I think because your marriage is out there, it's in the spotlight, and people do get to see it thrive and people do get to see it fall. And the camera died a little bit, guys, but I don't even remember where I left off in this video. But I think I was just trying to touch a little bit on like the whole marriage on YouTube, because clearly I wanted to touch base on it because I'm married. I do share aspects of my marriage on YouTube. My family, and different things. And with regards to the video I made, when everyone was making comments, people talking about how hard it is to live your life in the limelight, it's definitely true. I think we all know that, because it's just out there, things can come from it. But at the same time, I think there are things that you can put up. Like, one of the main things is just keeping God in the center. If you keeping him in the center of your life, it doesn't mean that there's not going to be any warfares that come at you. It doesn't mean that you're not going to encounter anything. When you have that set in place, then you know the boundaries and that you won't cross, and the guidelines. There's some YouTubers that I watch on here, and I see women in the comment section literally like lusting over the man. Like, yeah. And it's not like I'm watching like a typical video, like a couple's video or interracial family, and you'll hear women just saying like talking about how good he looks and stuff like that. And I'm just thinking, oh my gosh, like, this is the thing, and I get it. This is why people do want to protect their families and not want to show certain things, because it gets people then feel threatened when they feel like someone is coming after their real partner, or stuff like that. So marriages on YouTube, I don't know, I definitely feel like you really have to be careful. And I guess especially if you're in like those relationship where people are definitely lusting after your man, you definitely have to be mindful and just don't lose sight of God. I don't know if you're not Christian. I'm not sure, or you don't have a faith. I don't know what to say about that. But losing sight of God in the midst of it all, I feel like that's not the way to go, because once you start losing sight of Him, then anything else follows. Marriage on a whole is tough. I've been saying this. I say this all the time. I mentioned in the video that I got married. I've been married for 15 years. It's technically going on 15. It's not 15 yet. It'll be 15 in a few months. But I indicated that, and it's a long time to be married. You get to learn about your partner, and it's a lifelong learning. You don't learn about someone overnight. You don't learn about them even in the 5 years. Like, things are gradually changes, because we're people and we do change. And so things, it's a gradual process, and it's a lifelong process. You're forever getting to know them. And with that being a challenge on its own, different personalities is another challenge. And just like everyday life stuff gets in the way. And then on top of it, YouTube, dealing with things on YouTube that occur on YouTube that wouldn't necessarily occur if you weren't on YouTube. Yeah, that definitely does make it a little bit more challenging. And I mentioned Jamie and Nikki, and like I said, people are probably going to get mad because I'm using their name as an example. But when I made the video, and I was like, this is also stupid. Like, I feel like I shouldn't even have to say that, because when I was using their name, I said their names plenty of times in other vlogs, because I did watch their channel and would jot comments down here and there for sure. So when I said that, no one had anything to say. But the moment I made a video encouraging people to do what was right, everyone had something to say. And I get it, it's the title that also kind of threw people off. If I didn't title the video that way, the people who the video is intended for wouldn't get to see the video. That's how YouTube works. Like, that's how YouTube works. You gotta be strategic. And that's what I did. And people got mad. But yeah. Honestly, I felt like this video would have been so much better done in a live, because I would have just loved to have bounced off of you guys. And because my channel is very much a family vlogger. It is drama free. So I've always made videos about these kind of topics, real life topics, marriage, parenting, TTCing, like tubal reversal, interracial relationships, homeschooling. I make videos on all types of things, sit down videos, chit chat videos, whatever you call it. So to me, this shouldn't be different, but I notice like some of the new people, but I notice how people are, like, the more your channel grow, the more it also brings in people who are just like very opinionated, and they tend to take things out of context, and then I feel the need to constantly explain myself, which can be very frustrating to a YouTuber, because I want to make videos that I think y'all are going to enjoy, including real life topic ones, and not have to constantly, backpedal and buffer as I'm going along. I feel like this is curling. Every time I say something, I have to be buffering the floor. Like, I just want to be, I just want to be free in what I'm saying. And the good thing with it is that I'm that kind of person that, I do my best to think before I speak. Not saying I'm perfect, not saying perfection comes out, but I'm saying I do think before I speak, and I care about people, so I also ultimately don't want to offend people either. Yeah, I just want to touch base on some of the realness of certain things, and this one does apply to me because I'm an interracial couple. And so technically, when we're saying like these, our life in the limelight, our marriage in the limelight on YouTube definitely leads to divorce or separation in the end, that says a lot. Like, that can be pointed back to me and say, oh, like, that's what's going to happen to your marriage, or that's what's going to happen to your relationship, because of that, and you know what I mean, so stuff like that. So that's why I felt the need to kind of make this. Honestly, I'm a little tired. I think y'all can feel from the energy that I have in this video. Like, I kept going over the hump here and there. So hopefully it's good enough that they'll be up. If you see it, then I'm okay with it. But I do like to make them when I'm just a little bit more energetic. Anyways, if you guys have any more topics pertaining to this, like this kind of stuff that you want me to touch base on, I will gladly do it, because that is what I'm good. I am good at this kind of stuff. I do love just sharing my opinion and talking about certain things. And yeah, I don't really mind. So thank you guys for watching. I appreciate all of you guys that were willing to listen. I hope I made enough sense in this video. Anyways, guys, thanks for watching and much love.